Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Snoo with the Crew, Episode 6 with Mr. Adam Gatchell,
Hello.
Mr. Ross Murphy,
Good evening,
and Mr. Bobbin Dixon.
Hello there.
Hi. Oh, and me, of course.
Chris Quinton.
Hi.
Every week he doesn't introduce himself,
This is
but
true.
he'll always do the intro a little bit wrong.
Wow. I'll just cut that out.
Right, let's play the intro music. 1, 2, 3, here you go.
Let's crack on with a little bit of news. Snooze in the world. Warner Brothers are looking to revive The Matrix, guys.
This
What?
just fuck off. Seriously, no.
Stop it.
No, seriously, why?
Just leave it the hell alone, I kind of think, personally, as well. But, yeah, there's a fair amount of buzz around it.
Can they just not like time travel back and get rid of the second and third one instead?
I saw a hilarious interview with Keanu Reeves saying that, yes, he'll do another one, but only under certain conditions. The Wachowskis would have to be involved, and they would have to write and direct it. Amazing.
He's funny, isn't he?
He's hilarious.
They're women now.
So, no Keanu Reeves then.
Yes, they are.
They can't direct anymore.
One of them's slightly attractive.
Please cut that out.
So, yeah, no Keanu Reeves then, I expect.
To be honest, if we're going to crunch the numbers on it, that the first Matrix movie, I think we can all say is probably a 10, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And the others are like a 4 each.
Well,
maybe.
No, the second one
It's
is
okay.
a 4, and I haven't even seen the third one, so
Oh.
don't
So they
wanna
could-
rate it.
They could probably go, right, we're going to make a new Matrix trilogy, and the potential for it to be, as a whole, better than
Yeah.
the original
Yeah,
Matrix
yeah.
trilogy is quite high.
This is true. And there are plenty of people that have written Matrix stories outside of the Wachowskis' work. It's really worth going and reading. Neil Gaiman's one, for instance. It's great.
Oh,
Really
I thought you were
fantastic little
talking
short
about...
story.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about more fan theory.
No. Well, some of them, there are fan works of Matrix stuff, but there are some really good professional writers who've had their short stories and things collected.
Even the Animatrix was better than
The Animatrix is
the
great,
second
isn't it?
one.
The origin story from the Animatrix,
Yeah,
the 2
yeah,
parts,
yeah.
fucking really, really good, isn't it?
It's
That
called the
basically,
Renaissance, isn't
like
it?
that, yeah, the Renaissance part 1 and 2 are pretty much almost like what iRobot should have been
Yeah.
to be a lead up to the Matrix.
Fair enough. So, would we prefer to have a Tron reboot or a Matrix reboot?
Neither.
Well,
Neither.
yeah, I don't need it
Well,
either.
hang on, can we just, like, if they rebooted the Matrix, what would it look like? Because it came out at a very particular time, and it looks in a very particular way that, I don't know, you couldn't do that without it looking hammy and a bit shit now. Like the fucking Morpheus glasses where he's like, I'm in the Matrix, so I haven't got the bits that hold him to my ears. Or like, I'm in the Matrix, I'm just dressed in bondage. Like that you couldn't
No,
do that now.
no.
So it wouldn't look or feel like the Matrix anyway.
Fair enough. So we need to switch it up a bit, you mean?
I think tone
to
it
get with the
down.
times. What, make it a bit kind of maybe steampunky or something?
No, I don't think like the style of it at the time was almost slightly exaggerated of everything else in part, and then so under exaggerated in other parts. Like the reality he's in at the beginning, walking around, is all dirgy and
Yeah, but
Fight
that's
Club grim, and then like when they're in the Matrix and he knows everyone, like you say, they're all in like perfectly slick black and stuff, and it's just like what. No, you'd fit in better.
No, I think that's a conscious decision from the art direction and the movie.
Oh yeah. Don't get me wrong, but like you can keep the original story and be true to the story because that doesn't need to be changed. But maybe the visual elements can be totally different. Like Ready Player One, the inside world of the computer is completely
There's
mental.
a movie
There's
of that coming.
yes,
isn't
yes.
There's another real good reason why we don't need to reboot the Matrix, because
Yeah.
Ready,
Got
Player,
Ready Player One
One's
coming,
like
which is genius
like
book.
the
I've
Matrix.
not read it actually.
It's really good.
It's really
Yeah.
good.
It's really
Look at
short as well.
Yeah.
Like you'll chew through it because it's not. He's not the greatest writer in the world.
It's,
but
it's
really
15
good.
hours on audiobook with Will Wheaton reading it,
Right.
which is actually quite fun.
Because
Yeah.
Will
Wheaton.
Wheaton is in the book.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, he's mentioned it, and you can hear it in his voice when he mentions himself twice. He sort of does it with a grin on his face. You can hear the grin on his face.
Really, just quickly, audiobooks. Listen to both William Shatner's diaries of Star Trek, because he reads them.
Right.
And he just goes off page all the time.
Yeah,
It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I should
But
check that out.
with Tron, like, you don't need to remake that. They only added the second part, which actually works that amount of years later with everything looking different.
I really
because,
liked it as
yeah,
well. I
it
really
fits
liked
in how technology has changed since the first one was made. The world that they're in seems different and slicker and stuff, and it makes sense. Why not just do another one after that? Why can't they expand on it rather than, they did a good enough job last time, so think about how you'd want to do it. Technology advances so quickly, the next one, couple of years later, could be even more intense, and the changes inside that world are more prominent, but instead they want to reboot it.
I'll tell you what is
Rebooting
coming.
everything.
I'll tell you what is coming actually as a reboot, which I actually do agree with, is The Fly.
Oh,
Ooh.
So it'll be the third.
It would be the third time, yeah.
Have they rebooted it before?
yeah,
Well,
it's like an original black and white movie.
Yes. Vincent Price originally. So the one with
Who was the one after
Jeff
Vincent?
Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum was in The Fly?
Yeah, that. What are you taking the piss?
I've only ever seen the Vincent Price one.
Oh, really? What, the one from the 60s?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. David
Shut up! You
Cronenberg.
didn't know Jeff Goldblum
No,
was in The Fly.
that's amazing.
It was made by Cronenberg as well.
Was it cheesy and weird because it's Jeff
all right.
Goldblum?
It's not a bad film. It's
Oh, okay.
okay.
No, it's also
Wow.
fucked up because it's David Cronenberg as well.
Yeah.
So the second
in that
second
period,
one's terrible.
The second one's not worth your time,
no.
don't worry.
So just
But
first one, Jeff Goldblum, Cronenberg.
yeah, you go and watch it. It's very good. However, it looks a tad dated now.
Of course it does. It was made in the 80s.
Yeah, and it's all a bit Jim Henson's Creature
but it's
Workshop
also
with gore,
like
isn't it?
Cronenberg's going through that phase of doing all his weird shit about the human body and being quite evasive.
Brilliant.
And yeah, you'll probably like it.
Good.
Go and
You
watch
won't.
it.
You'll probably
So-
go, it's not Ghostbusters.
You'll watch that and then you'll hate the idea of a reboot. That's fine. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch The Fly just so that I can hate the remake.
Here's one that will interest you, Bobbin, I hope. James Olmos has confirmed his return to Blade Runner for the new one. Do you guys know who James Olmos is?
Was he in Stactica?
He was in
He's in
Battlestig Galactica.
He was in
Battlestar
Battlestar Galactica. Yeah.
He was.
Jim O'Dama.
I'm quite...
He's fucking brilliant in that.
He is.
He's
he is.
really, really
He is
good.
really good.
I've got really high hopes for the Blade Runner sequel.
So have I.
I think it's going to be good.
His return kind of makes you think, well... Yeah, because he's one of the cops. He's like one of the guys that's possibly twigged if Decker's a simulant. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Yes.
That's coming out in October.
Ooh.
Beauty and the Beast has broken the biggest opening box office records. Anyone care?
No.
Well, the only thing I've got to ask is in Beauty and the Beast, I'm not even going to say spoilers because if you don't know, you're a dick. Not a dick because you're just a dick if you've seen it.
Or you're a
Anyway,
young child that it's aimed at and you're too young to have seen the original.
Yeah, so basically, if at the end, when all of his, like the teapot and the clock and they all come back to life, surely he has no furniture and cutlery left in his house.
Is that what the story is?
Also, if you didn't know that was going to happen, then that's already been ruined for you by the fucking movie poster. One of the two, because obviously Disney, just been there.
I've never watched it, so I didn't know that happened.
One of the movie posters has got all of the actors in their how they end up at the ending, and it's also called Belle est la Bête.
Belle's a bitch. That's what it means in French.
I like the fact that Les Dennis means the ambulance in French.
That's brilliant.
Belle est la jambon.
It doesn't.
Apparently it does.
I would love if that to be true.
I thought that's because le is the, isn't it?
Yeah, but
And then
ambulance. is
no.
not
Dennis is the make of ambulance.
Yeah, but
It's also a make a fire engine.
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah,
so
basically,
it's just the
emergency vehicle.
Adam, will you stop telling
Sorry.
dad jokes? Well, Chris is here. He'll get really upset.
He wants to put the shit dad jokes in at the wrong time.
Yeah, let's
Go
move
on,
on.
go on. Rick and Morty season 3, Adam.
Yes, what about it?
They have started the voiceover work,
Yay!
which means they finished drawing it.
Yay!
Okay, one
Yay.
thing I did consume, and I watched one episode of Rick and Morty, the only thing I've ever seen, and I really liked it. I'm going to watch more.
You've not seen any more?
No,
Ooh,
I've
grand.
no.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
definitely
it's amazing.
Which one did you see?
The one where someone goes to hospital and some aliens want his penis.
Yes.
Jerry.
So it's right at the beginning that bit
Yeah.
happens,
Yeah, watch the whole lot. It's amazing. No continuity errors in that show at all.
and it's pretty timey-wimey.
No, there's no time travel in it. This is what
Oh
people.
no, it's dimensional.
It's dimensional travel.
Okay.
Oh, well,
There's
like
no
sliders?
time travel. No, much
And then
better
if you haven't
than
got a
that.
squeaky gate, then you're not really in the real world.
Oh, unless someone's oiled it and you've gone home, but then you don't realise they go off to another
Is that actually
dimension.
what happened?
Yeah.
Oh.
They go home in one episode and then they're like, no squeaky
Everything's
gate.
perfect.
So they leave and then the mum comes out with this bloke and she's like, oh, thank you for sorting out the squeaky gate. And you're like, dun dun dun!
Is this Sliders?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Sounds rubbish.
Is it terrible?
What, Sliders?
Yeah.
I remember it being really good when I was younger. I haven't watched it since. They did like 4 adult episodes as well that were like late night ones.
Oh, it's a kids thing, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, a teenage
Sure,
thing.
it wasn't a porn one you watched.
It was Buffy, but with time travelling and dimension jumping and vampires and monsters and weird things. Yeah.
Fair
What was the Australian show where the woman's a voice actor now? She's Chloe.
Farscape.
Yeah, that's the one. All I know is that
Jim Henson puppets.
she is
That's amazing.
She's just in every game now. And
Yeah, and she's also in Rick and Morty.
was the blue alien
Series
hot or
8.
not?
It's episode
The
8.
blue alien was. Did you say was she hot?
Was she hot or was I just
There
young?
were 2.
You were just young. Right. Okay. So moving on. Breaking Bad. Does anyone like Breaking Bad?
I started the first series, got to the end of it, started the second, and then didn't carry on.
I
Yes.
watched the first episode of the first series and nothing else.
Okay.
I kind of want to watch more, but I didn't.
There's a fan-made movie of the whole bloody thing.
Oh, it's like 45.
Condensed.
Yeah, it's like a minute and
Oh,
45
amazing.
or something, isn't it?
A minute, hour and 45.
Hour and 45, yeah.
Uh,
I watched
Rad.
it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I've watched all of Better Call Saul about that character. That's set before, so it hasn't ruined Breaking Bad for me. And I like that, but obviously I haven't watched enough Breaking Bad where I've got to the point where he's in it. So,
Fair
yeah,
enough.
an hour and 45 minutes might be quite nice.
That's
rather
kicking
than-
around online now,
yeah,
so you
cool.
can go and watch that. And last bit of TV news: Preacher. Did anyone like Preacher?
I liked it.
I thought
I
it started well.
Stopped watching it after like 2 episodes.
Yeah, I got about
I-
5 in.
It
I
was
think,
a bit confusing and scatty. I'm hoping that that's been done on purpose for the start of the second series and that it'll get a lot darker and a lot more in keeping with the sort of style of the comic. Because at the moment, the first half was brilliant. The second half was a bit all over the place.
Bit hit and miss generally,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah. Anyway, there's a season 2 coming. That's coming in June.
Yay.
And Hanna is being adapted for the TV as well. If anybody's interested.
What was in the what
Eric
was it?
Bana.
Yeah, that's it. Eric Bana based
That's the one.
assassin-y
Yeah,
shit. Yeah.
Which could have been a lot better, couldn't it? As
yeah,
a
a
movie.
lot
It wasn't.
better.
It wasn't awful, but it wasn't as
That-
good as it could have been.
Hey, it was no 3 ninjas hiding at Mega Mountain. Let's just say that.
Well,
That'd be the
true.
base level of shit. It does have Hulk Hogan. He's in it
So
as
it-
Dave Dragon.
Dave Dragon. Wow.
Urban Commando. While we're talking Hulk
Well,
Hogan.
it's
That's
actually
bad.
it's Suburban Commando.
Ah, Suburban Commando.
Love that
What
film.
about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze?
There's a fat ninja in that. There's a bit when they're trying to battle to get the ooze in like the lab, and the ninja that catches it is an overweight extra. Just look at it,
Amazing.
check it out.
Go Ninja! Go Ninja! Go!
Brilliant. Right, okay. Do you guys want some comic book news?
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently, the Batman is being rewritten completely from scratch.
What, the Batman, as in the Batman cartoon TV show?
No,
or
the Batman, the movie that was going to be directed and starring Ben Affleck, and is now just
Oh,
starring
yeah,
Ben Affleck.
yeah.
But
I
basically,
have seen that video of his face from when he got heard about reviews of Batman versus Superman and
Yeah.
he looked really unhappy.
But yes, so that's bound to piss him off, isn't it? Because he was supposed to be directing it.
yeah,
And
I think
then-
he chose
and then
to step
he
down
chose to
from
step down
directing
to
it,
just act in it, and then Warner Brothers have gone, okay, we'll just rewrite the whole fucking thing. To me, it feels like it might be a bit of a kick in the balls.
Was they rewriting
You know.
the whole thing, including Batman versus Superman?
No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
just
No,
this
the
movie.
new Batman.
It's a bit late for that, isn't it?
Batman.
Kevin Smith probably just gets really high because he's Kevin Smith and just rings Affleck up every 3 days and just goes, ha ha, puts the phone down on him.
Like some child from Simpsons. But yeah. Ben Affleck himself has just come out of rehab for alcoholism, apparently. I wonder if
Really?
it's related. I don't know.
Good lad.
Well, he did have heroin addiction years ago,
Did he?
didn't
Don't know.
Jason Mewes did.
Yeah, no, but I think Jason Mewes talked about him and another couple of other people.
Oh no, him and
They
Affleck
were
were in
all-
rehab together, but I don't think it was heroin. I think it was booze.
Oh right, okay. I thought
Yeah.
it was heroin the way he was talking.
But he was
about
like, it was really funny. Like in the old, what's fucking Kevin Smith's podcast with Jason Mewes?
Smodcast or
No,
Jay
the
and
one-
Silent Bob Get Old.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, no, well, I was leaving rehab, and they were like, oh, you have to be really quiet, and we've got a special person coming in today, and you can't tell anyone. And it walks, and because they don't know that he's mates with him.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
Ben Affleck walks in, and they're just like really chummy. And he's like, I'm going because I've just got off a heroin. And he's like, I'm coming in because I drink too much booze.
Amazing. Okay. Aquaman has been delayed from October 2018 to...
Good.
No, don't care. Okay. It's been shifted to compete with the animated Spider-Man movie, though.
Wow.
All right. No.
It
I'd
won't
rather,
win that
instead
battle.
of doing the animated Spider-Man movie and having Donald Glover play an animated version of the African-American Miles
Just do it in
Morales
the live
Spider-Man,
action.
just do it in the live action instead.
It would be good, wouldn't it?
Like, I'd far prefer there to be a second Spider-Man character that's got a different origin that's actually interesting rather than getting the same fucking Spider-Man over and over again.
Yeah, fair enough.
But saying that, let's not muddy the water, because a lot of people who will watch the Spider-Man movie aren't going to watch anything like fucking animated nothing.
No,
True.
that's true.
That's why they've done it.
Yeah.
You
Fair
can't
enough.
have Spider-Man. They've already cast a new Spider-Man.
Yeah, no,
in
Tom-
the film.
No,
They
no,
can't-
it's fine.
fucking-
Donald Glover plays
Yeah.
Miles Morales as a different version of Spider-Man.
Yeah,
So-
like I'm
Yeah,
totally
that's-
fine
that-
with Tom Holland or whatever his name is playing Spider-Man. I think he's great from Captain America: Civil War. But what I mean is, have further down the line, bring in a different Spider-Man who's got like different abilities, like Miles Morales in the comics has. But have Donald Glover or someone who's good play that version of Spider-Man and have him end up being a mentor to the younger one or something. Do the reverse of what they've done in the comics. I just fed up with the same boring origin.
Saying this, Spider-Man Homecoming, they've begun reshoots, which may or may not be a good thing. Who knows?
Well, they do reshoots in
Reshoots?
every film.
Yeah.
Every film always gets reshoots. That's
Yeah,
normal, isn't it?
Well,
Along with ADR,
ADR.
Audio-
additional dialogue recording.
Ah, right, okay. Thank you very much. Every day's a school day. There's a Venom movie coming, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not happy about that?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got something else
No.
to say about that later on, so that's fine. Guardians 3 has been confirmed,
Yay.
which is good.
Second one's not even out
It's
yet.
not, no.
It's
But-
that good.
But yeah, he's pretty confident about it, isn't he, Mr. Gunn?
Yeah.
Have you seen any interviews with him?
No.
I saw one with him today,
He's great.
and he was just literally ecstatic with himself. You could see that he was really chuffed. That he's just said basically the last year I've just been sat in a room poring over every single shot of this movie to make it as ridiculously beautiful as I can. And well, fingers crossed, he's been spending his time well. Last bit of comic book movie news then. Kingsman 2 has been pushed up by 1 week so that it doesn't compete with Alien Covenant, Blade Runner and My Little Pony the movie.
Well,
Oh,
that's going to
that's
smash
Quite.
it.
That's a fucking
Blade Runner and
that is a-
Alien on the same day.
Yeah.
That is a busy
Wow.
week, isn't it?
It is,
But,
isn't it?
I'm really annoyed that the first bit of news wasn't the fact they're making a My Little Pony movie, to be honest.
Fine.
I'm
Fair
gutted
enough.
about that.
Well, that was kind
Next
of like...
week, that's all we're talking about.
Are you a brony?
What?
A brony?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know. No, I
You
was
don't know what it is?
genuinely
Like a
taking the
furry.
piss.
Okay.
Yes, I am. I didn't want to say
Okay,
it
all
to
right.
anyone. Sorry.
Might be why he's wearing chaps. Anyway, trailers. You guys seen any trailers this week?
No,
No?
I've been in
No.
Disneyland.
None at all. Right, okay.
I
Just
got drunk all week.
fair enough. Just go and watch. Please go and watch trailers for at least a couple of movies. Atomic Blonde. Definitely
Chris,
go and
can
watch.
you post them on the
I can.
Snoo
I
with the
will
Crew
put them on the Snoo
Facebook
with the
page?
Crew
Is that a
Facebook
comic
page.
book film?
It sounds like a porn
No.
film.
Oh, okay.
It's a Nikita style
Oh, okay.
female assassin movie
Ooh.
with a lot of Well,
Tits.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't want to say it in case I offended Adam.
You talking about my man boobs again?
And yeah, that one and Nola Circus as well. They both look like just kind of surprise hits this year that are going to come from nowhere. And American Gods.
Yeah, I need to see the trailer for it.
There's a new trailer out this week, which is a lot more kind of informative, should we say, than the last one.
Cool.
So go and watch the trailer.
Is that the end of the news, Chris?
That is the end of the news.
Oh,
The news can bugger off. We're done with it.
what are we doing next?
What's our subject for the week, Adam?
Ooh, it's what is sci-fi?
What is sci-fi? What do you mean by what is sci-fi?
Well, there's obviously science fiction in books and in films and stuff, but I think there's such a vast amount of films coming out that have, say, a spaceship in, that people automatically go, oh, well, it's sci-fi. Whereas sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just a drama film with space in it. So it's not necessarily science fiction as such.
But it still has to have science involved in getting them there.
Not necessarily. It depends on what the film is.
So, sorry, what would you call Gravity?
Gravity is just like...
No, I
We'll
don't mean...
all be floating about without it.
It's an adventure.
I don't mean literal
No,
gravity.
no. It's like an adventure
I
film,
mean
isn't it?
Alfonso Cuarón's
It's
movie.
like an adventure film.
I would say it's science fiction.
I wouldn't.
Of course it is.
Why is it science fiction?
Because it's fiction using science.
No, it's just a drama story set in space.
Well,
It's
yeah.
an adventure. It's about her getting back to Earth. It's completely unbelievable scientifically.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. There's no way she could use a jetpack to get from one space station to another. It's
They're not
possible.
jetpacks either, are
Well,
they?
whatever it is she's using, it's not possible.
Fair enough.
But it's that to me is an adventure
I bloody
film.
enjoyed it anyway.
Oh yeah,
I
it's not a
think-
bad film, but it's an adventure film. It's not science fiction like Fifth Element or even what was the one by Christopher Nolan recently?
Interstellar.
Yeah,
Interstellar,
like that's science fiction. You know, that's taking science as we know it and pushing it to an imaginary level that takes it beyond.
Go on.
What's The Martian then?
The Martian, that is more science fiction than Gravity, but it's still more an adventure film.
It's just hard, what they call hard sci-fi.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
About the only thing that is fiction at the moment with The Martian, other than the fact that we haven't already done it, are the spacesuits.
Right.
That's one of the things that's holding us back, is our spacesuit
Yeah,
technology
yeah.
is not up to snuff yet.
Where do you put Star Trek on all of this?
Star Trek's science fiction, but it's got that fantasy element.
But okay, the only thing fantasy really about, and this is going to be, I suppose, opening up for debate quite a lot. The science in it is based on fact. Well, on principle.
Yeah. Most of it's not possible, but it's based on ideas.
Yeah.
So it is science fiction, but it is obviously fantasy. It's not like The Martian, where it's an idea that could possibly be done in the near future. It's something way out there. Like Star Wars is fantasy to me rather than full sci-fi.
Right.
Because it's a lot more totally in the fictional realm and the fantasy realm of the different ideas of, you know, it's like samurais in space.
Bobbin's just going to read the opening paragraph from the Wikipedia
Oh,
page
excellent.
explaining science fiction.
Excellent.
Science fiction, often shortened to sci-fi, is a genre of speculative fiction, typically dealing with imaginative concepts such as futuristic science and technology, space travel, time travel, faster than light travel, parallel universes, and extraterrestrial life. Science fiction often explores the potential consequences of scientific and other innovations and has been called literature of ideas. It usually avoids the supernatural, and unlike the related genre of fantasy, historically science fiction Historically, science fiction stories were intended to have a grounding in science-based fact or theory at the time the story was created, but this connection is now limited to hard science fiction. Fucking well hard science fiction.
But
mate.
that's kind of why I say Star Wars to me is more fantasy, because obviously force powers is magic. It's not science, you know, and there's a lot more in Star Wars that's just complete.
Yeah, but you're
fantasy,
analysing it too
so-
much.
No. Like I'm just saying.
You do this
like,
quite a lot.
I just like saying I enjoy those films, but like sci-fi wise, they fit in a slightly different category of sci-fi to say The Martian. The Martian's hard
I
sci-fi.
don't know what to say to that. just don't listen to what the people tell you that genre it should be in. We don't have video shops anymore. You don't go
No, that's
into
true.
fucking you don't go. I need to
Excuse
say,
me.
you don't go into VHS. What I meant is you don't go into HMV and go,
Blockbusters.
oh, I tell you what, they've put Star Wars right in between fantasy and science fiction.
No, that's true.
There are some bloody good upcoming sci-fi works. You might not know about one of them. I'll bring up in a second. But ones we do know about are Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets.
Looks amazing.
Looks fantastic. Do you think it'll be a franchise?
I don't know, because it's a massive series of comics, so there's the possibility, but it's whether Luc Besson wants to.
Right.
I don't imagine he will. I think he'll probably just do one
Probably
or two.
getting a bit
and then,
old, isn't he?
Don't know.
But then again, could you not just start it off and hand it over to
What
somebody
do you mean
else?
he's getting a bit old? Fucking Ridley Scott's making about 10 movies a year at the moment. And he's about
yeah, but
105.
the quality's not as good as it used to be, is it?
It's like every other one's a cracker now, isn't it?
And
Yeah.
George Lucas is another example, isn't he?
He doesn't make films
Die.
anymore.
Die, George. Lucas.
Shut up. George Lucas made Star Wars.
Yes, but he also fucked it. He also fucked it.
Anyway,
He built a house and shit in every room. That's basically what he's done.
wow.
Anyway, we're not going to that. Carry on.
June. That's coming up soon. That's
Yeah.
Old Danny Villeneuve.
That still should be a TV show.
It-
HBO should just go, right, do you know
Yeah.
what? Do you know what we'll do after Game of Thrones? We'll do basically Game of Thrones in space.
Yeah, it
and
basically
then
is,
make
isn't
it.
it? This is true. For anyone that doesn't know the story too well, it's very much a sprawling political epic. It's
Well,
Brilliant. It's
basically,
amazing.
for anyone that hasn't worked it out yet, George R.R. Martin stole all of his ideas from other books and just put it in a fantasy world instead of either another fantasy world or sci-fi.
Do you know why he added the extra R? Because he wanted to be in the same league as J.R.R. Tolkien.
really.
Yeah.
Do you know what the R stand for?
Rubbish. Really rubbish.
Have you seen? You've
I'm
seen
George Really Rubbish Martin.
you've seen how he looks. So
Yeah.
it's definitely George
fat.
Railroad Martin.
Railroad Martin.
Risotto rapist.
He's definitely not going to let us interview him if we ever get the chance, is
Oh
he?
yeah, because we're going to get to that.
You don't
level.
have to. You don't have to be famous to walk around at a Comic-Con with a press badge on, holding a microphone at famous people. They'll still speak to you
Well, yeah, that's true.
as long as they don't know your name.
Oh, you're that really rubbish guy. Can I talk to you? Oh, what?
So yeah, Mortal Engines. Have you guys heard of that one yet?
What was that?
I'll tell you what, hang on a sec, I'll cut that little bit out.
What, the bit about railroad rapist Martin?
No, that's staying in, that's fine.
I went for 3 R's because J.R.R. Tolkien's not as good as me, but I went with railroad rapist. Because I rape people on railroads, if you didn't work
Was
it out.
railroad one word, otherwise it'd be George R. Martin, surely.
Right.
Oh dear, right, okay. One movie that's coming up that is going to be a franchise is Mortal Engines. Have you guys heard of that?
No, Chris, please explain.
Isn't it? Is a series of teenage books?
It is, yeah.
in the same vein as like the
Hunger Games and stuff.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That, I suppose it's
a
going to
little
be
bit
that
different,
sort of feel.
but yeah.
because it's written for teenage.
You did make that sound like it
Kids.
was a film about teenage books. And I just broke myself. I just broke myself trying to work out what a series of teenage books is like.
The premise is there's only a few cities left in a post-apocalyptic world, and these cities like move around. They're all mechanical, and they move around the landscape
Like the castle in Krull.
like the castle in
cut.
Krull. Yeah, and when they
House
meet,
moving castle.
something happens and they fight, and then the winner takes parts of the other city and stuff. And yeah, it just sounds intriguing to me. I quite like how the hell they're going to put that on film. I've got no idea.
So it's a bit like if AT-ATs were in the Hunger Games.
Yes, I guess so.
Yeah.
But bigger, with big old cities, like with
on
St Paul's Cathedral sticking out the top of one of them. Yeah.
Next question. How did they get the cities to move about?
Oh, I think
Do they
some
float or are they on legs?
I
like
think
AT-ATs?
one of them may be on train tracks.
Are the train tracks like set, or is it like Wallace and Gromit and you can lay train tracks depending on what direction you need to go in?
I do not know.
Like it's a big turtle.
That's why I don't like penguins.
Because of
Because
Wallace
of
and
Wallace,
Gromit.
I've just suddenly realised why I've got a fear of penguins.
In case one of them
'Cause of
steals your
Wallace and
trousers.
What? Because they're similar to clowns.
Silence. Okay.
Stan looks from the
Would
corner.
that freak you out? Would a penguin dressed as a clown freak you out, Bobbin?
No, because I don't think they'd be able to apply the makeup. They've got no
what about-
thumbs.
What about a Smurf?
No, they're fictitious.
Righto, moving on.
You're going to die when you leave this house.
What else do we have?
What's coming up?
what
is there
other
any
s-
other sci-fi coming
what
up?
other sci-fi do we have? Oh,
We got the new Star Trek series. That's going to happen
Oh,
soon.
Transformers, of course.
Yeah.
There's a new trailer
Fuck,
for that.
fuck Transformers.
Yeah, but
Transformers
is-
isn't sci-fi. It's a fucking children's cartoon that they made a movie of.
Yeah, I don't know if that really counts as sci-fi, does it? I don't know.
Because it has to be literature based.
No, I'm just
No.
being fucking pedantic. because
Fair enough.
Right.
It's not
just
clever
not.
enough to be science fiction, is it?
No.
Oh,
Robot fight.
Life. That's coming up soon, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's wank material for you, Ross. I heard something interesting about that actually today. Apparently, a fan theorist has come forward and said, "Oh, is Life a prequel to the Venom movie?" And then the director and the screenwriter have gone, "Well," and stepped away and haven't kind of
So
said.
no, then.
They haven't said no. I think they're just fucking with this guy. But yeah,
The thing is, these fucking fan theories, just stay off the internet and do something, like record a podcast or be in a band or have a Twitter account with 99 followers.
we're all three.
Stop just sitting there going, oh, what if Batman's not really Batman because Christopher Nolan thought 45 movies ahead and it's actually instead. He didn't. He just wrote a fucking script for a movie and then he made it. And you're like, oh, fucking, what is this secret little thing? You seen the way he looked at the camera there? No, it's just shit acting. Next.
Okay, bloody next. So yeah, science fiction. So what does it matter?
I don't know. I just like science fiction.
I love you.
He
came in
doesn't-
there. What
this
is it? And then
This
you
is,
I
our,
like it.
this is our topic, and I'm going to get really animated about it. And then when we wrap up at the end, I'm just going to be like, well, I think I just like subgenres.
No. What I mean is, like, I don't think it matters what's called sci-fi, but I find it weird that there's certain stuff not really advertised as sci-fi well enough that could be, because there's loads of films that I've found in the last 2 years that I had never heard of, and not because they just weren't advertised, but because they were advertised so badly it wasn't obvious that they were actually the sort of films that I would like. So
But is that not just bullshit marketing? That's just bad marketing.
Well,
but
yeah,
there's also
yeah.
bullshit marketing.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Can I quick fire a question with people?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I just really want to know the answers. Focus. Quick fire questions. You can't bait around. You just got to come out with your answers straight away, right?
Right.
As we're on the subject, worst sci-fi film ever. Go.
Worst sci-fi film ever. Oh shit.
Adam.
I don't know. There's loads.
Pick one.
Transformers.
I've got one. Oh shit. Although I'm going to fuck up the title. Project X from Outer Space.
Nice.
I'm going to say Butterfly Effect because I said it earlier.
I'm going to say Species 3.
Oh,
Ooh,
fair enough.
Fair play.
Cool.
Cool.
That's all I wanted to do. It's just a fun game. Really fun.
Way.
To be honest, Species 1 isn't very good, is it?
No, but the cut. If you look at the cast, you
Mimic,
think this is
though.
going to be a great film.
The Mimic
Got Ben
series are
Kingsley
pretty
in
good.
it, Michael Madsen, Forrest Whitaker. I think this is great, and it's just rubbish. Can I put a question out to anyone listening that could possibly help? And I know Adam's going to chirp up probably with, I saw that, but we'll see. So, I watched a film, and I had it on video years ago, and the plot of this sci-fi film, and Adam will probably argue that it's not sci-fi, but we'll see. So the plot of it is it was really, 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 really low budget, but I loved it, and I can't remember what it's called at all, and I really want to watch it again. So basically, these family get this like new game, and it's kind of this robot, and it's sort of like a horror kind of robotic Jumanji. So every time you get to a level up, the game gets harder, and then when you get to level 8, it tries to kill you and your family, and you've got to stop it. I can't remember what the film's called.
Terminator 7.
No,
I don't know. I've never heard of that.
it was made in about 19... It's got to be late 80s, very early 90s, but I just can't remember what it was called.
What, like a game indoors or like
it was like
arcade?
a robot game. Like they have it. It's just a robot. You have it in your house, and then you play this game,
Ooh.
and then you kind of work your levels up, and then when you get to level 8, it tries to kill you, and you got to stop it. If anyone can tell me, because I've trawled through IMDb when it's like similar sort of shit films, and then it goes, if you like this, you might also like this. But I no idea.
Was it actually a
Can't
feature
find it.
film, or was it like one of those Friday film specials?
No,
that
it
we
was.
used
It
to
was
get
whether it got released, cinema release, but I had it on video. I don't know where it's gone. My mum burnt all my things. That's a lie. Sorry, mum. Not as she listens. But
Shit, it's not really related. But the movie about the guy who has to go back in time to do detective work. Have you
Time
seen
Cop?
that? No. Damn
sounds
it.
like the Crow 3,
Predestination?
It's like
City of...
Predestination.
That's an amazing sci-fi.
Have you seen Predestination, guys?
No.
No, sorry.
Put it on your watch list.
Honestly,
Watch it as soon as possible.
Like, if you like time travel, watch it.
It'll blow your
If
mind.
you like a detective story, watch it. If you just want something that's going to fuck with your head for 2 hours, watch it.
So, let's talk about what we've been consuming, guys.
What have you been consuming? This is where we talk about what we've been consuming. What have you been consuming, Bobbin?
Nothing.
In the last 7 days,
I've been
you've
very busy,
consumed
and
nothing.
I haven't managed to watch any kind of visual entertainment.
What's her name?
That's none of your business.
Okay.
Susan.
Susan.
She's a cleaner.
Susan Boyle?
No, come on. She's older than that.
Amazing. Okay.
Shall I say what I've been consuming
Go
then?
on.
Should we
Go
go
on,
for
Adam.
it?
Hang on. Adam, what have you been consuming? Snooming.
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 I had two things really. I went up to the land of London's.
Oh, what, the capital of Great
Yeah,
Britain and
that
the United
place.
Kingdom?
Ankh-Morpork.
I
Yeah.
went there too, but it was for a gig, so it wasn't really consuming anything but loud rock music.
That's consuming. What was the loud rock music?
Danko Jones, Canadian 3-piece. My friend Michael Darks, who's a good friend, bought me a ticket.
Were they
It's
good?
Nice. Yes.
Hello, Michael.
Oh, hello, Canada, as well.
How many headbangs out of 10 would you give it?
8.
Oh, excellent.
Because the Highbury Garage is a nice venue, but it wasn't full, so there was an ample room for movement. I did manage to think, I'll just venture to the middle at the front, and someone had decided to spill lots of drink. So both my feet fell from under me, and I landed on my knees. Been very sore.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Been there.
There
Sore
wasn't a-
knees,
Yeah.
but not the venue.
The last time I went to a metal gig, I came home with one shoe, no mobile phone, and and a split head. Somebody,
Last time I went to a rock gig, I ended up having an operation on my intestines.
Wow.
Well, at the gig.
No, just
It's
after.
not very hygienic.
He was
Hey,
a very
rock
good
stars are
doctor.
clean.
Well, maybe these days.
Anyway, so I've
Maybe
been to London.
Dr. Hook did it.
Ah.
Whoa.
Tell us about London, Adam.
Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. We stayed in an Airbnb place. Like, I don't know if people have heard of that. It was
I've
new
used
to
it.
me. It was
Someone's
very
house, isn't it?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually rented an entire flat for
Yeah, I did that
the
last
time
time.
we were up there, and it was beautiful. Like,
Was you and
really
you
nice.
and the missus?
Yeah, it was really good.
Was the host there?
No,
Ah.
they were away.
We had the same
don't
thing
know-
happen as well to
Yeah,
us.
I don't know where they were, but they set it up that we could stay there and they wouldn't be there, and it was in a really good location to get around. Went to Orc's Nest, a board game shop in the centre of London that I've never been to before. I think it's in the Soho area. Went to Gosh Comics in the Soho area, and Orc's Nest is Leicester Square area. Gosh Comics was wicked, 2 floors.
Cool.
Went to Orbital Comics, which I always do. Very much like Orbital Comics. If you're up that way, give it a try.
have
Literally
not
next
been.
to the station, Leicester Square Station.
What did you say? The London station, just next to the station.
So while I was up there, other than the comic shops and bits and bobs that we sort of went and saw and did, we managed to get to see a stage show called The Miser with Griff Rhys-Jones and Lee Mack as the main actors. It was, I think it's a rewriting of an old French show, and they've rewritten it to fit in modern times. It's quite political about a rich guy, and it is a comedy. Lee Mack was pretty much just being Lee Mack, but as if he was a servant to the rich family.
Right.
There's quite a lot of other famous sort of British comedians, sort of from this sort of panel show circuit that you would have seen on other things, who were in it. Some of them were really good at singing, because there was a couple of songs.
Cool.
The set design was like an old dilapidated house that sort of moved and became outside and inside at different points. Utterly hilarious, like
Cool.
very political at times. Griff Rhys-Jones actually, as part of it, ends up, I don't know if the old French version would have been the same, or whether they've altered it so much to fit a modern audience, but there were elements of, I can imagine, back in the day when it was originally written, they probably would have talked to the audience in the same way, but about the things relevant at the time.
Right.
But they were, Griff Rhys-Jones was utterly taking the piss out of the rich people in the boxes
Cool.
Upstairs and things like that.
Got to be done, hasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of...
They deserve it, the fuckers.
Yeah.
Could you explain to anybody under 30 who these people are?
Griff Rhys-Jones is from Smith & Jones, an old British comedian who had a sketch show in the
Surely
80s.
everyone should know Griff Rhys-Jones.
No, there's a lot of people that don't.
I
Yeah, it's
saw
been
him
in-
as
it's-
Fagin in Oliver a couple of years ago. It's very good.
He's been in films quite a lot.
Yeah,
recently,
but a
hasn't
lot of
he?
people just wouldn't know him by name, I
Fair,
suppose.
fair
There's a
enough.
lot of
Presented-
younger people anyway.
Presented a program in the early 2000s called Restoration, which was a program where you could towns with like a historic building that had run down could be in a sort of X Factor style voting competition system where people vote to get their building restored. And
Right.
I can't imagine many people under 30 would have watched that. Though.
Wow, I watched it purely because where I grew up in Charing in Kent, there is an Archbishop's Palace, which is now a rundown farm. But Henry VIII stayed there and stuff years ago, and they were campaigning to get that. We came second,
Huh.
but a place in Birmingham beat us
Okay.
purely because there's more people in
Did you
Birmingham.
at least get Alan Titchmarsh?
We're talking about Griff Rhys-Jones. What's he got to do with
Well,
restoring buildings?
Come and do the
restores
garden.
gardens, doesn't he?
Yeah, but no, I don't. That's weird. That's like going, well, was Ainsley Harrier there? Why, people eat and he likes food.
I'm just pleased to know that you have interests outside of hating everything that's been remade from the 1980s.
This is true. It's quite a positive review, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is,
yeah,
it
I
was
do.
very positive, that.
Yeah.
Tell us about Ghostbusters 3, Adam,
No.
for a bit of balance.
And then the other thing I've been consuming is the Netflix Marvel's Iron Fist
Uh-huh.
TV show.
Yes, so I actually.
I've only managed 7 episodes, I think, so far.
I'm at 6, so we're about the same place. So, how are we going to handle this?
I watched it all yesterday.
Right.
Like, what I've watched so
So-
far. is-
I
Literally
saw
one
4
hit.
episodes of what I've seen yesterday.
yeah.
So, I mean, do we want to
How-
spoil
No,
it for anyone?
I don't think we should spoil anything.
Okay, so spoiler free. And if we do fuck that up, I'll just cut it out. It's fine.
Cool.
Okay.
Who is Iron Fist? Explain to the comic noob.
Okay, so he's one of my favourite characters, so I got quite a lot of knowledge of Iron Fist. But
I've got a fair amount.
he...
Are his fists made of iron?
No.
Oh, that's
No.
false advertising. I thought Iron Man was just, when I first read it, it was just a man who likes doing housework.
No, that's the Iron Giant.
Oh, okay, cool. He can get a lot done because he's bigger.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. Big hands. So Iron Fist. In this incarnation, it's pretty close to the comics so far from what I've seen. And without spoiling anything for anyone, because it was in the trailer, he is Danny Rand, who is the son of a family that sort of own big business in New York. And again, from the trailer, not spoiling anything for anyone, there is a plane crash and him and his parents are presumed dead, and then many years later he comes back to New York, and
he's
that's
like
how
a-
it starts, basically.
He's like a Bruce Wayne type character for Marvel. So he's going to be out of the Defenders. So it'll be Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and him.
Yep.
He's going to be the guy with all the money. So he'll be the one putting the toys into the group, sort of thing. So yeah.
Real quickly, are the Defenders going to be in the...
Yes, it's coming. They've
It's
just wrapped
later,
up filming.
Yeah,
And
later
it's
this
later
year.
this year.
What,
they're
TV
releasing
show?
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I
eight
meant-
episodes
I
on
meant-
Netflix.
Oh, do you mean the greater Marvel universe?
Yeah, I meant like Avengers 10 or whatever.
I don't know, because they kind of saying it's all linked. They do mention like even in Iron Fist, doesn't spoil anything for anyone, but one of the characters at one point mentions the big green guy, and things like that.
What do they call it in the Netflix shows? The event or something?
Yeah, the
Yeah, it's mentioned in Daredevil season 1,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. So they are linking it, but whether or not those characters from the series will move into the films at any point, I don't know. I hope so.
Daredevil's too good not to be in the movies.
Well, yeah. And he's been in the actor's been in films before, isn't he? So
I think they should. Most of the actors that are in the series have been in films before. So
I don't know if I recognise Luke Cage from anything, but Jessica Jones, obviously.
He's been in a few things.
Right.
So there's no reason they couldn't cross them over and bring them in, even if it's just small appearances and small parts. I think it would work.
And the guy playing Danny Rand, Hugh Ross, is the guy that plays Loras Tyrell in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
That is.
Oh
okay.
yeah, the guy.
The not gay brother.
The pretty looking one.
Yep.
With the fancy armour.
Yep.
Is he dead?
Yes, he's probably at the.
Did he die at the...
Hasn't
the
everyone
chapel,
in the
wasn't he?
Game of Thrones died?
Not yet.
Not yet.
They're working on it.
Never mind.
Ghostbusters 3 still alive. And they're making a fourth one. Just in Game of Thrones. Just for you, Adam.
You do realise Ghostbusters 3 doesn't exist?
Yes, it does.
No, there's Ghostbusters 2016. There's not Ghostbusters 3. It's not
pedant.
connected.
Pedant.
What?
It's a franchise. They mention it in the first movie that they're going to franchise Ghostbusters out.
Yeah, but it's not actually a franchise. It's not connected. It's like a reboot. So, like, you can't call it Ghostbusters 3 if it's a reboot. It's Ghostbusters 2016.
I don't know what you're on about, Ghostbusters 2016.
The new one.
What?
Yeah. Like, Bobbin's worse than I am.
Bobbin's doing his Indiana Jones 4 thing, isn't he?
Yeah.
There's only 3 Indiana Jones films.
See, this is the thing. I don't
It's-
like it, but I'd accept that it exists.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Ignorance is
The
bliss,
original
it's fine.
Korean version of Indiana Jones 4 is better, though.
Probably, yeah.
So anyway,
Right.
Iron Fist. What surprised me with what I've seen so far is how little of the backstory we've been getting, and it all seems to be very current. And that's probably a good thing because flashbacks suck sometimes. But yeah, that's quite cool.
Yeah, I like I'm not a massive fan of sort of flashing back to things, but he seems to be having like traumatic moments. So it's not like flashbacks, it's like little snippets of vision because he's still kind of putting everything together.
So what was his powers in that?
All right, so he can focus his chi to turn his hand.
Really thought you were going to say chin. Iron chin.
Iron chin. He can focus his.
He's basically been trained to be one of the 7 cities of heaven's immortal weapons in the comics. So far in
Can
this,
you do that at like the college?
No, unfortunately, you have to go to a special city that only appears every 15
You can
years.
only get to it through a special portal in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
Shaolin shadow boxing and the Wu-Tang sword style.
All that, yeah. So, okay, is it spoilery to say something about the character, as in what he has to do to become Iron Fist?
I think it probably will because they
you think
haven't
that's gonna
actually
happen?
said that in the series yet. They haven't actually gone into it.
Okay.
He
has mentioned it.
He's mentioned it, but not in a way that actually explains it. And if I explain it, it's going to sound utterly ridiculous.
What, because comic books?
Yeah.
Because comic books. So something that they probably won't cover in the show then that will help with the point that I'm trying to make is that when he goes to when he's off doing his martial arts training, he has to accomplish a task. And you said there are 7 other cities of heaven.
Yeah.
There are different immortal weapons that come from each and every city, and they all have a task to accomplish to become one of the immortal weapons.
And each of the immortal weapons has an ability that is connected to their task
And
that
then-
gives them their power.
And then Danny Rand is your entry point, isn't he?
Yeah.
Sort of-
Sounds a little bit like George Clark's Shed of the Year.
Does
Is it
it?
similar?
I've not seen George Clark's.
Oh, no,
Is there a lot of fighting in that?
Just guessing. I don't know.
There's the martial arts in George. What did you call it?
George Clark's
George
Shed
Clark.
of the Year.
Is that actually a program?
George Clark's amazing. He's the guy who'd be like, oh, look at this amazing space.
Okay.
They've got a 7-bedroom house inside a Ford Fiesta. It's great. I just thought it sounded similar.
Yeah, I think the martial arts in it and the choreography and the style and the direction is
They need some work.
easily on par with Daredevil, though.
Really?
Yeah, the martial arts is like easily.
No, I disagree.
Really?
Yeah, I think just because it flows better in Daredevil.
Yeah, but
and
it's. I think
there are
that's-
certain set pieces that are really good, and you can see that they're trying to put something similar together in this, and it doesn't work properly. The choreographers really need to.
Have you seen, without
Get-
spoiling anything for anyone, have you seen the above scene?
The above scene. Oh
You-
yeah, no, I have seen it. Yeah.
There are some good set pieces. They're just done differently, but all the martial arts in this is far more realistic and
Actually-
far more accurate to the styles they talk about than in Daredevil.
I'm being
Daredevil's a bit
I'm
of
being
all
harsh
sorts.
on all the cast. In actual fact, the girl, her martial arts is really bloody good.
Yeah.
And the way she moves, and the choreography with her is fantastic. With Danny Rand, it just sort of, I don't know, it feels like wooden, like it's not connecting. It doesn't look, it's a million miles away from the Raid, for instance.
Oh yeah, but it will be. He's an actor
it
that's
should
learned,
be-
whereas the Raid guys
In
are.
my opinion, it should be that good. Because in reality, he's supposed to be the best martial
But then
artist.
I think
in
once
the
you
Marvel
see
universe.
episode 7 or 8, whichever one I've got up to, you'll change
Right,
your
okay.
mind. Things get
They're gonna
There's
go
a
crazy.
I think there's a purpose why he probably seems a little bit wooden. I think that
Okay.
there's a reason behind that without
But,
spoiling anything.
And there are big plot holes as well. Maybe we'll discuss that all another time. But
Again, I think a lot of stuff once we get to the end, we'll probably go, okay.
if anyone watches it and sees some of the plot holes that I did in the first couple of episodes, just kind of let it go and stick with it. It's bloody good.
Do you think probably maybe next week you'll be able to do a full spoiler cast?
I could do that by
Fuck yeah.
like tomorrow night.
Yeah, but we don't record on a Tuesday just because you finished Iron Fist, fucker.
Everyone will have spoiled it by next week, and people. Maybe we should do it as a little separate review
I don't want to
again.
be here because I want to watch it.
We'll do it as a separate review.
Yeah, definitely.
You spoiling shit.
What have you been consuming, Ross?
I've been to Disneyland in Paris.
You sound bloody happy about that.
No, I'm not really. It's fucking 5 days of walking.
Did
Was
you
this-
expect
was it
to
not-
be like
I thought it
wheel-
was. I thought
wheel-
it'd be
wheel-
Walking and
wheelbarrow?
standing and everything being... Right, I'm sorry, but I've got a real problem with this.
Right.
It was supposed to be... Well, it was Season of the Force, which is like... I was
Star
like,
Wars.
Did you
brilliant, it's going to be full of Star Wars. And
Did you
there
do
was a
your
little
Jedi
bit of Star
training?
Wars. I didn't do the Jedi training. No, it's just you have to queue at like 10 o'clock
Oh, okay.
to do it at like 1.
So you didn't kick Darth
And
Vader's ass.
I'm nearly 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
Darth Vader's like 50 odd.
I just got an image of you beating up children with a lightsaber.
Oh no, sorry, I have to tell you about this. This was fucking brilliant. Thursday night, we sat there waiting for the Star Wars thing to come on, but there was clearly a man, because this is where the lines get blurred. This was a man with serious mental health. Like he was properly disabled. Yeah, and he had a lightsaber, and he was probably he was bigger than me, and he was, bordering on. He was quite large, so he was over 6 foot.
Muscular.
No.
I'm so
just like
scared
that.
as to where this is going.
And he was swinging. He was literally just. It was getting dark, and he was just swinging this lightsaber around, just going, and he was coming up to people and just going, and he's making all these fucking mental noises, and he was terrifying, and he was like swinging his lightsaber out just to the side, and like a 5-year-old child would just walk underneath him, oblivious to it, and I was sat there with Hanna, I was going, I don't know where his carers are, and then we also started going, Will they treat him like an adult, and will the police, if he goes fucking apeshit, will the police just come up and arrest him, or will somebody come along and go, no, he's definitely got learning disability? Yeah, that was pretty...
So quite a difficult situation to watch,
because you're like, we're sat there going, he's going to fucking murk somebody by complete accident at the moment, and I don't know how Disney's going to respond to that.
Did you do the British thing and just walk away tutting?
No, I just sat there really quiet
You
and
watched it,
like he
yeah.
kept walking up to us, and I just kept going. I'm not making eye. I just did that totally British thing.
Did you give him?
I will not make eye contact with you.
Did you give him an amusing Star Wars name?
Nope. We no.
We should
so
work
there
on
wasn't
one.
anyone sort of obviously with him.
No, we genuinely. We were scanning for like he must have a carer around here somewhere. No,
Sure, he wasn't just drunk.
no, he definitely was not. He was not drunk. He was.
Was it you?
No.
Okay.
Heavy.
Yeah. Anyway, so Disney was all right, but it was supposed to be season of Force. So we get there and we're like, right, let's see what all the Star Wars is, and Star Tours, which is a big ride, and Space Mountain, which is a big ride, like proper AAA rides. The reasons you
Yep.
go to Disney, both closed because they're renovating them to make them
No.
Star Wars.
No.
But that's all right because I'll go on Pirates of the Caribbean. No, that's closed as well.
What?
Ooh.
So I'm sorry.
The three
but
main
you don't
rides are
close 3 rides
Pardon,
at Disneyland.
Space Mountain, La Ferme. That's
And,
closed.
And then there's 2 parks there now, because there's Walt Disney Studios as well, and there was 2 rides closing there as well, and it's really weird because I think what's happening is their 25th anniversary this year, and they're rushing to get stuff done.
Russia? I thought you said they were French.
For everyone at home, Ross is sticking his middle finger up to Bobbin right now.
Been very rude.
Bobbin.
Very rude.
Yeah, and so there's fucking paint pots everywhere. All of the water features are empty.
So that wasn't just part of the ride. Like, come watch the decoration ride.
Yeah, like I saw more high vis vests and hats than I did stormtroopers.
Wow.
I'm sure they weren't health and safety freaked out stormtroopers. Like, you need to wear a high vis vest if you go into battle because it's dangerous.
I don't know. Sorry, I was still just seething with my own thoughts, and I was like, right, what am I going to talk
I
about
can
next?
see Ross, and there's a huge vein on the side of his head. Looks like it's about to burst.
So 3 of the main rides were shut.
No, 5 of them across 2
What?
parks. 5 of the main rides were shut.
Jesus.
I love
admittedly,
the French.
Armageddon-
They don't give a shit.
That's the thing, right? I've been to Disney in California, and there is a level of expectation and service that only the Americans and like Disney in its starting theme park would do. Like they did. There's just little things in California where all of the buildings outside of the park that face the park are painted the same color as the trees in front of them that separate the park, so you just can't see it. There's no cracks in the magic.
Wow.
In
That's
Anaheim,
weird.
but in Paris you can see the guy putting the plaster over the cracks.
Right. In Florida, it's just like so far away from everything. There are no cracks in the first place. It can't crack, I suppose.
Well, yeah, because like you've got all of those parks together in one place, surrounded by retirement villages. So it's either old people or Disney, Warner Brothers, and all that in Florida, I suppose. Whereas Paris, is it just?
I
on
know. I'm
its
just
own,
talking.
or-
I've only been to the one in California.
Okay.
Right.
I've been to the one in
Because
Florida.
white people, yeah.
I've been to the one in Florida.
So
Do you know what I've been on? I've been on Space Mountain. I've been on Star Tours.
I did Star Tours in. I did Star
Sorry,
Tours in
don't
Anaheim,
leave.
but I did. The
so
weird thing is,
what was there Star Wars wise then?
there was this. This is a pretty cool thing they do at the end of the night in Walt Disney Studios. You know when they do the fireworks and stuff in Disney.
No.
So, well, every night there's a fireworks show and a light show. So they did in Walt Disney Studios. They were doing a Star Wars one each night, and it's pretty cool because what they do on the Tower of Terror, which is a huge big building, they've got like 20 laser. I think it's 21 or 22 laser projectors that are set up so that they can point at each flat surface of the building and project like a. So you see a big screen at the bottom, and it'll show you scenes from Star Wars. Yeah, so it'll show you them going into light speed in the movie, but then the whole of this building will go into light speed as well, and then turn into a star field, and then the Death Star will move down. And that's pretty cool, but it's like 20 minutes at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, and people come out dressed as stormtroopers and stuff.
Okay.
First Order new ones. So
What
that's
else
really
can you
good.
say about Disneyland then while you were there? What was good
Big Thunder
and what was the
Mountain is
worst
still fucking
thing?
brilliant.
What is?
Big Thunder Mountain, which is the...
Sounds like a Native American Indian's name.
It's just a really good ride where you go underneath the lake in a minecart and you come out. Weirdly, it's more Indiana Jones than the Indiana Jones ride. Because the Indiana Jones ride's just a roller coaster with a temple built around it, whereas this thing's a proper rickety train that goes down into mines that are pitch black because it goes under the lake. And then the main part of the ride, you're on an island in the middle of the lake, and it's just... It does that thing where it looks like it's going to chop your head off on a wooden block, and it just drops at the last minute. That's really good. Ooh. And the Tower of Terror, which is the lift thing, the Twilight Zone. So you go up, and you don't know that you're going up to the top floor of the building that they project the Star Wars thing on, and then the windows open, and you can see you're fucking like 100 meters up in the air, and then you just drop.
Wow!
And then right at the end, and just before you hit the bottom, it just sort of like has got this amazing like break. You literally
get a moment of like 0G.
You have to wear a seatbelt, and there is a point where you're not touching anything.
Yeah, they've got one at Thorpe Park as well, haven't they? The same, but it's got nothing around it. It's just a vertical tower with 2 seats on each of the 4 sides going up.
See, this is what
a fucking long way.
So I went to a fun fair once in Devon, and they had a ride there where you go in. It's a circular room, and you stand flat against the wall, and it spins. And as you spin, obviously the G sticks you to the wall, and then the floor lowered. So you're like, oh my god, like we're stuck to the wall and it's spinning. And then basically the floor lowered about 6 foot down. So you're like, oh, it's spinning really fast. Can't feel. Obviously, you're not on the floor. You're spinning. But then when it slowed down to stop, the floor didn't go back up. So you just sort of. Everyone just fell onto the floor in a heap. And then the bloke just went, oh, you're all right. Yeah, good. That was it.
We got to fix that bit.
There was no one wearing high vis.
Were you in a shed?
No, don't be stupid. It was a fairground. Moving on.
Like, me and Anna, we actually spoke about that Tower of Terror. We were going, there must be a country like China or somewhere where they don't give a fuck, and you just get in that lift and you stand like it's a real lift. And it'll do the thing where it drops and slows down enough that you don't die, but... They don't care what sort of mess is in there from like 20 people just slamming into each other.
Yeah, just people coming out with broken legs. That's fine.
But I think what separates Disney from other theme parks is a lot of theme parks go, this ride's just a roller coaster and that's it. Whereas at Disney, they're very clever. They do these elaborate queuing systems, so they sort of thematically move you into the ride. And then you'll hit a point where they'll do something which is like an introduction to the ride, like the Tower of Terror. It puts you in an episode of the Twilight Zone, and it all goes really weird. So that by the time you actually get on the ride, you're just like, "Oh, I'm a bit creeped out by this." So the first time you go on it, it's really good. Weirdly, the best roller coaster in Walt Disney Studios, which is the park next door, is a fucking Aerosmith ride.
I mean, how have they got their own
what
ride?
What sort of licensing deal is that? Yeah.
That's
so
weird.
You queue up.
Have you not seen Aerosmith the movie?
You queue up, and there's this really savage thing where they get really cheap guitars because if you know, I don't even play guitar, but I know enough that an Encore is a shit guitar. Yeah. Or like they'll go, here's a Les Paul. It's not. It's an Epiphone, but don't worry about it. But we've got these famous people to sign it, so authentic, yeah? And there's cabinets of this shit, and I took a photo of it because there's a drum skin, and it says Pearl Jam on the drum skin, and you can see Eddie Vedder's fucking signature, so you go, oh, that's definitely Pearl Jam. Underneath the label says Radiohead.
What?
So
That's
I took a picture of that. It's on my Instagram. So halfway through that ride, they go, ladies and gentlemen, let's stop you there. We're just going into the studio where... Aerosmith are halfway through recording and designing a roller coaster. Don't ask me how that works, but they were recording an album and designing a roller coaster. And Steve Tyler, is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, so you walk in and there's a recording studio, and at the back they've done this really good thing where it's clearly a video, but it looks quite good, and it looks like they're in the engineering booth. And he just walks in. He's like, "Oh my god, I was on the roller coaster and I was pulling 1, 2 Jews, 2 Jews. What the fuck? Cut that out. To know about Jews.
Fine.
There was like 1
Keep
Jew,
that in.
and then there was 2 Jews, and then we put them on a train and sent them to Auschwitz. Cut that out.
Keep that in.
No, so he comes in and he's like,
Oh.
yeah, I was on the roller coaster and there was pulling 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, and then I thought I was going down, and then it just goes dun 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 dun, and you're just like, what the fuck was that? And I don't know what sort of licensing deal that 15 years later that ride is still the Aerosmith
Don't
ride.
even understand what you just said.
Sounds
I've-
fucking mental.
Say about Aerosmith
Who
and
approached
Jews
who about
and-
that? Who went, I've got an idea. What's a really good band? Well, Aerosmith were good about 20 years ago. Are they free? Yeah, fuck it, get them down. Like, what?
Let's get him to talk about G-Force and Jews and like jump on a roller coaster.
They didn't
G-Force
mention...
and G's, I think you'll find it is. Anyway.
I honestly think the licensing deal was probably signed about the same time as the opposite ride, which was the fucking Armageddon ride. Because
Well, they got ties in that because they did the fucking soundtrack. So
yeah,
that's
well,
why.
I think that's genuinely. I think it's about the weird thing is the Aerosmith rides in the dark, and it's got a loop and it's got a corkscrew in it and everything, yeah, and it's really fucking fast.
A lot like Space
and there's a
Mountain.
lot of flashing lights, yeah. And I don't know why they didn't rebrand it Star Wars, because it would have cost them about 50 quid to do that. Because the ride bit is already Star Wars. Just put Star Wars sound effects and cut the fucking Aerosmith soundtrack out, and it would just be like that.
So, so not only are you on a terrifying roller coaster, you got to listen to Aerosmith all the way round.
It's about the roller coaster so fast. It's probably about 45 seconds long.
That's not too much, Aerosmith. I can deal with that.
Yeah, so there are some cool things at Disney, but 66 kilometres I walked.
Is
44 miles.
Is Armageddon a Disney film?
No,
No,
Walt
it was an
Disney.
awful Michael Bay film.
The only other thing I've really got to talk about it real quick is, because it was cool and slightly weird, there's a huge, in Walt Disney Studios, there's a whole huge old style cinema with beautiful, like, you know, when they do the curtains and stuff, like in an old theatre. Absolutely massive. I counted it. I reckon it seats about 1,200 people. It's fucking huge. And they do this thing called Cinemagique. Get it?
Cinemagic.
Right, so you
Very
think
clever.
it's just the history of cinema,
Right.
and it starts, and then you start hearing a phone ringing, and an actor, so you don't know it's an actor, but he gets up, and he starts answering his phone, and then he starts getting chased by what are the guys that, not chauffeurs, ushers. Yeah, he starts getting chased by the ushers, and he ends up on the stage, and he's on his phone, and then the people in the film stop what they're doing in the film and get really annoyed with him, and then there's like a Jafar type character who fires magic at him, and the magic comes through the screen and makes him explode, and he ends up in the film, and it's Martin Short.
Wow.
What?
That would have been great. Who's Martin Short?
Inner Space.
Have you
Oh, wow.
Right,
Okay,
so this
why is
obvious-
it so out of date? Oh, they're French.
The weird thing
I really
is-
think it's still quite cool
But
and
the
quirky.
other thing is, the woman is, I don't know her name, but do you remember a film that came, I think it was a foreign language film. very
Andy
much-
McDowell. Someone shit from the 80s, probably.
I think the film was called Killing Zoe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's her. Never seen her in anything. She's did it as well, and his phone's ancient, but weirdly, what they've done is they've updated some of the films because it's a history of film. So he moves through these films, and Charlie Chaplin's hanging from the clock, and he climbs out
Charlie
the window.
Chaplin didn't hang from the clock.
Is it Buster Keaton?
Yeah.
Right, Buster Keaton's hanging from the clock, and he climbs out the window. He falls out the window, and he lands in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and then there's a cowboy scene, and then he ends up in Star Wars, but then he ends up in Avatar, and you're like, so they could be fucking bothered to put new films in, but they couldn't be bothered to re-record the bits with the acting with somebody who was in a movie in the last 25 years.
So Martin Short is the guy that appears on the screen, but not the actor that runs
No,
out
no,
of the
so
audience.
you don't see.
So you can't tell who it is until he gets sucked into the screen.
and then I was just
and then
like,
it's 20 years out of date.
Bearing in mind, Anna's like 26, so I leaned over and went, "That's Martin Short," and she just went, who? And I just went, fucking millennial. And but then, like at the end of the film, he's trying to get out back to where he wants to be, and he can't get out. And King Arthur throws his sword at the screen, but then the fucking sword comes out of the screen and sticks in the stage in front of you, and then the actor's able to climb through like a split in the screen that wasn't previously there because it was a TV screen.
Wow.
But it
sounds
was
quite intense.
It was good fun, and it was just weird.
Sounds like they would have redeemed themselves with the sword thing. I could let them off for using Martin Short, Dave, whatever he's called.
Martin Short and Nokia 3310 were the only two giveaways.
Cool.
So, rating.
Disneyland as a whole.
How many sore feet out of 20?
87 sore feet out of 10, but I would 4 Millennium Falcons out of 10 and 7 Mickey Mouse ears out of 10.
Right.
So kind of a mixed bag, depending on
very
what you
mixed
wanted
bag.
for it.
If you like Aerosmith, you'll love it there.
Going down.
Right. So,
But that's all I've done this week.
I'll tell you what I did watch just this week. Talking about blasts from the past, I started watching The Storyteller again. Do you remember that?
Oh, wow.
I found it on some movie streaming
Is that
website.
the Steven Spielberg
No,
thing?
it's Jim Henson's Creature Workshop, and it's James Hurt, John Hurt, the one that died recently.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's John Hurt.
John Hurt.
I'm
Thank you.
ashamed that you've just called him James.
I always get everyone's name wrong. What are you on about? But yeah, if you haven't seen it in a long time, or if you've never seen it, go and watch it. It's amazing. It's like really fantastic practical effects, like puppetry and things, and it's really well presented.
Is that the series that had the episode with a bunch of guys in a plane? And
No.
Okay.
It's all very much fantasy based.
Are
So
there any sheds in it?
griffins and stuff. No.
Well, I don't care.
No. Yeah, griffins and trolls and things. And John Hurt is the storyteller. He's there with his little comedy puppet dog, and he presents stories with morals.
Something you wouldn't get in a kids' program now.
What morals?
Yeah.
Would you not?
Not that I've
Do
noticed.
the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles not have morals?
Not in a way that's obvious.
Adam doesn't know. He's only ever seen 42 minutes of them.
Not of the new cartoon series. I've watched all 3 series so far. It's really, really good.
Anyway, so yeah, I discovered part of the storyteller that I didn't know existed. Actually, there's for anyone out there that has seen it, there's 4 episodes on the Greek myths as well. Only 4 of the Greek myths, of course, but yeah. So go and watch that if you want to. It's good. Right, that will do. That about wraps us up for this evening. So thanks very much for listening, ladies and gentlemen. Adam, where can we find you?
Adam Gatchwart's on the Facebooks and the YouTubes.
Ross?
I don't create anything. I just have a Twitter where I talk about football, and it's Roscoe Murphy.
Have you got more than 100 Twitter followers now?
No, I've got 99. Somebody unfollowed me. Like, I've got so few followers that I notice when somebody unfollows me because I say something slightly left wing.
I will look at your Twitter because I have one, but I don't think I've ever used it. So I'll look at yours and go, I'm number 100.
I followed you this week. You should be on 100.
Somebody
2 people have
unfollowed
left
me.
you.
Probably, like, people follow me because I might say something interesting about football, but then I will go, yeah, Theresa May's a bit of a cunt as well, and then they'll go, well, I'm unfollowing you because you think Brexit's a bad idea.
Silly people. All right, anyway, Bobbin,
Yes.
where can they find you? Where can people find you?
Well, normally I quite like to hang around
Playground.
Not physically, not
bins
the
at the back.
schools.
Shush, please. I'm
Jeez.
letting people know. The bins at the back of Nepalese restaurants. If I'm not there,
Playgrounds.
No. Such a prick. Right, cut that out. You're a cunt. Right. Facebook and that. Snapchats and
Tell us
things.
about your gig on Friday.
It was good.
So,
This Friday.
have you got one coming?
Have I?
Is it this Friday?
You just told
Oh
us.
yeah, I've got a gig on Friday. My band are playing.
Charity gig.
No.
No. Fuck!
Right. Stop
Tell me
reading
about the
things
food
wrong.
one!
That's like 3 weeks away.
Mention it.
You should still be promoting it.
So I'm in a band called Bobbin and the Baby Makers, and I decided to start because basically there's a lot of homeless people on the Isle of Wight, so and everywhere really. But I wanted people to come to our gigs to bring food, basically non-perishables, pastas and tins of stuff. And in return, if you donate food, we'll give you a free shot.
Corned beef.
It's a win-win. Bring
So
some
where
corned
can
beef.
people
It's calorie
find-
dense.
We're going to be playing at the King Lud on the 31st of March.
And as a reminder, people can find this on Facebook on
Yeah,
Bobbin and the Baby Makers.
Facebook, Bobbin Dixon Comedian. I do that as well on Facebook, Instagrams and Snapchats.
Cool. Hopefully loads of people will get involved. And I'm going to give up promoting my personal page. So Snoo with the Crew, ladies and gentlemen, on Facebook, if you would please.
We have a Twitter and a Soundcloud now.
Oh, we do, don't we? So lots of follows and subscriptions and reviews and stuff wherever it's applicable would be very nice if possible, please, because they do help with our
internet presence. So more people listen, and then
Come and enjoy what we enjoy.
It makes it feel like we've got a purpose. Instead of having
I could just be Ross and just sit here and call people a paedophile all night, but I'd rather just kind of tell everyone to follow things.
Anyway, yes. So
I like Star Wars.
I like Star Wars, but I also feel like I touched a nerve a little bit there when I mentioned a playground.
I actually just meant
Because I don't want to get caught.
that bit in It's Always Sunny when Danny DeVito gets stuck in the playground.
I have not seen that episode.
It's fucking golden, mate. It's literally oiled up and naked in one of those little corkscrew things.
Okay. I'm
But
gonna go
yeah,
and watch
thank you
that.
everyone for listening, and bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.